And we're back with another episode of Let's Play House Flipper. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. Let's get back to work. Ethan Jones, you need to remove the bushes. Hey there, I have a bit of a problem. I tried to deal with weeds in my garden and got some kind of herbicide to get rid of them. Luckily, just to test it out on a couple of them, I quickly realized it's extremely effective. It destroyed the weeds as well as my bushes. I'm really glad it didn't spray it all over my yard, but unfortunately, I did it right in front of the entrance. Now the plants in the area are dried up and look pathetic. Please wipe them out and fill that spot with some fresh grass. Oh, and if you could mow my lawn as well, that would be fantastic. Best regards, Ethan. So this is another gardening one. And the gardening ones now are going to... We're mowing lawns and whatnot. So, let's see here. Mow the lawn and remove objects. So this is pretty much our little means to mow the lawn. So you can see on the mini-map, you'll see dark green patches. That is the tall grass, which was the value of upgrading our ability to see the work that needs to be done. That's why I say that upgrade is so worth it. Okay, so we need to remove these dead bushes, it looks like. And spread the grass roll in the area. Okay, so we can really just... Let's see here. I don't think an extra large will actually fit. But we can try it. Just saves us trouble. Yeah, it's too big. So here's what we'll do. We will go with a large, I guess. I always like to go a little bigger. That way there's some overlap. That way we're guaranteed not to miss any spots. So we'll push this down and over. And then we obviously got to go that way. So we'll use a medium roll for that. And, nope, just too small. Again, we'll go with a large. Remember, grass plate pallets things are not that expensive. And boom, that side is done. Ding, fries are done. Spread grass roll. This one's a little weird because of the nature of it, so it's not a perfect fit. So let's go like here. Sometimes if the roll is on the... Somehow it's on the pavement, and that's kind of weird and frustrating in its own way. So we have to move it a little more this way. Okay. Then we need to do a very tiny roll, a little bit of roll there. So let's go small. And boom, shakalaka. All done. Now he wanted us to mow his lawn. So let's do it. Again, I'm not looking at the grass as much as I'm looking at the mini-map. To guarantee, because sometimes it looks like you got it, and other times it looks like you didn't get it at all. And that can get really frustrating. So if we want to complete this mission, we gotta mow the rest of this dude's lawn. Now, I want to say... No, I thought we had a better tool for this. We do, I don't remember how to get access to it, but we're just gonna go for it. Making sure we get the steps here. Oh yeah. Cleaning it all up. And look at that. A wonderful job done. You get about $1,200 for really spending pennies. Because the grass roll, not pennies, but we spent probably under $50. Maybe under, at least under $100 in grass, and the rest was just mowing the lawn, so can't complain about that. I mean, you could, but you'd be a dick for doing it, because that's a lot of money to mow a lawn. It was mostly the removal of the bushes and rolling out new grass is really what they were trying to get off of us here. So back to our lowly dump. Welcome home, dump bucket. Alright, let's get back to work. Okay, so we got more gardening to do. You know what I will say, though, is part of me wants to clean this, because we actually get, again, we get credit for garden XP, and the more of this that's actually done back here, the more credit we'll get to level up, closer to we'll be leveling up, because I think we got to pull out like 101 weeds or something. Or was it 101 walls? I don't remember now. But if I go to perks, 76 weeds removed, 10 plants planted, 4 minutes of mowing. So, yeah, any of those things will get us the rest of the way there. But remember, keep in mind, we aren't going to be staying here forever. Eventually, we're going to have to clean this dump up. Especially if we want to be free of the horrendous little building that is our home here. The Studio Shack. Look at that. Skill point received. Nice. Okay, so it looks like if you meet any of these, then you go to the next tier. Interesting. I don't care about molehills being visible, so let's go with... regulated mowing speed and grass placement. Let's go with that for now. Against my better judgment. I think we got most of the weeds. And then really, anything else would be mowing the lawn, but we're not going to do that right now. Maybe when we want to burn some more time or something, we'll come back and mow. We'll work on this building a little bit at a time. Xavier Wolski. A small lawn and a pool. I haven't been home in a while, and well, it's gotten a bit overgrown. I haven't got the time for mowing, especially because my plot is quite large, so I'd gladly hand the work over. Moreover, I'd love to have a decent swimming pool in the garden. Please place it near the terrace. Regards, Xavier Wolski. Oh yeah, he's got a lot of property there. Oh boy. Oh no. But there is a lawn mower that will expedite this process. So it's a new tool. It lets us pretty much power mow to some degree, if you even want to call it that. Why I can't put it down in some basic spots is beyond me, though. Boom. And so, all we gotta do is this. And then we can actually force it. There we go. By holding shift, we can force it to turn a certain way. So this, as you can see, is much more efficient than that little thing. And that little thing that we had will be used to it's like doing your, having your hair done, right? Having your hair barbered. You're gonna use the regular tool to clean up whatever you missed. You're gonna use the more nuanced tool to go over any areas you might have missed. That are small patches here and there. So, like, as you can see, there's clearly right here. You can't completely get up against the ledge, but we know we gotta do that manually later. Boom, boom. Do 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 do. Mowing the lawn, getting along while I mow the lawn. You can see we're actually getting the weeds that are in there while we're at it, too. So this is a very useful tool for powering through a lot of cleaning that needs to be done when it comes to the gardening. We need to get slightly off center. There we go. Do 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 do. You can also try this technique too, where you just kind of look for the longest paths to go. Do it that way. I keep not lining it up perfectly. There we go. A little better. If only that we had the ones like they have like in Texas, where it's like a freaking electric cart or something. I guess these lawns aren't that big though to warrant that. Okay. And I'll line this up. There we go. We can't get that area up against the wall there. Come on. There we go. We'll get that skinny little row there. And I say for the most part, that's about the most we can do. Let's go ahead and get out the bush cutter here and do the rest. There's still much cleaning and trimming that needs to be done. Now you can see these garden jobs can take a little longer. So I would say before we invest too much time in this, we should do the other things that the dude asked us to do. Xavier, I think his name was. So yeah, we will invest in that as soon as I kind of trim this 90% of the way up. Because there is such a thing as spending more time on a project than necessary. As you can see, we're not really making that much money or income doing it, so... Alright, so we need to buy a pool. Pool! Plop. Place. Dig. By the power of Grayskull, the shovel is incredible! Much like plotting plants. Digging a bigger hole. Now we're going to cover the edges there. Fill her with water. And... boom goes the dynamite. And then we need 2 of these guys. So now we finish the rest of this area by mowing the rest of the lawn. So now we know how much lawn we gotta mow. 90%. Let's go over here. A little bit hiding in the bushes there. Again, I know this can seem somewhat tedious, but it needs to be done. Especially because it's not like a perfect activity. They're gonna stop me here, are they? Alright, come on. Gotta get around the trees. So here's where I say controlling one of these in real life probably be easier than controlling it in the game, but it is what it is. We're at 95%, so we're getting there. And we got another gardening skill upgraded. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go with Grass Trimmer 2019 Increased Range Trimmer. This should make this go a little faster because we spent so much time mowing the darn lawn. Let's see that. Look at how much bigger that diameter is. So yeah, that would be, yeah. If we would have mowed the lawn at our office, we might have gotten this sooner. Oh well. But you can see now why it's important to really be very meticulous in what you invest in. As getting jobs done more efficiently is important. And that's really going to be based on what upgrades you get. Oh, look at that. We've technically finished the job. Okay, which means we're probably not going to get any more money mowing the lawn. So let's go ahead and turn it in, because we have another garden lawn to do. But yeah, gardening can be a little tedious, so I try to get it done somewhat quickly here. Alright. Trees need cutting down, and then we're gonna get into some other stuff here. So, hi, I've got some trees on my lot. My grandfather planted them. They've grown so big. They've overshadowed the entire lot. Nothing's growing underneath them, and I've been dreaming of a flowery garden and catching some sun on my deck. I need you to cut at least 2 of them. Can I count on you? Oh, and I really want a small pond by the deck. All that's needed is to remove the trees and place a pond. I'll take care of the flowers myself. Thanks, Catherine S. Alright, so now we're going to get into tree removal. Yay! And we get the axe. It's murder time. No, I'm just kidding. So, our job is clearly here in the backyard. You'll notice on the mini-map, it shows quadrants of where things need to be done. So, not too big of a deal. Hi-ho, chopping this tree down I go. Giggity-goo, giggity-goo, giggity-goo. Alright, hi-ho, hi-ho, hi-ho. Take that tree. Take that, Mother Nature. Produce my toilet paper. Produce it! Never got really good at this, so... Woo-hoo-hoo-wee! Alright, 1 tree down. Timber! Oh no! Good thing the game doesn't damage the house for doing that. Okay. So we need a pond. Luckily this is a pretty easy one to do. Boom. Digging a hole. Hole dug. Place. Cover with soil. And then gotta pee. There we go. Job done. Didn't get a lot of money for that. I guarantee you tree removal costs more than $420. I had to have a tree removed in my yard. It was like $800 for one frickin' tree. Because you gotta remove it down to the roots. You just don't remove the trunk, you gotta remove the whole tree. Oakley dokley. Hi diddly ho, neighbor. Alright, let's get back and do another one, shall we? Now, you can see they're starting to throw in, and then this was the other DLC, but this is a free DLC. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Thomas Johansson. Additional walls. Good afternoon. I need some alterations made in my 2-room house. My daughter is now 3, and we feel like it's time she has her own room. Please divide the bedroom into 2 rooms and make sure the new rooms both have doors that connect to the corridor. Could you also please put in a new bed and remove and sell the crib? Yours faithfully, Thomas Johnson. Thought it was a different name. Whatever. Whatever. Okay. Let's go in here. So they've given us some guidelines where they want a new wall and where they want the old wall to be. Well, where the old wall is and where they want the new wall. The other thing we need to do while we're here is there's clearly an issue here. And we need to check the whole house because that's going to start becoming an issue. They're going to start trying to sneak secondary jobs in there. And you're going to work on the really hard part first. You know what I mean? And I usually like to do the hard parts last because it's the last thing that needs to be done. You know, the hardest jobs I like to save for last because the easy stuff you're tired from doing the long job, right? You're sick of being in the house that you're in working on it, right? So, now you're like, oh god darn it, now I gotta fix the outlets too. Weak! So this is just the way I like to do it. Some people would argue get the harder job done first, then do everything else, but then you get inspired to want to finish and you can't find out what the little job was that needed to be done. So, I tend to want to do them first. So, there's something over here. It's not a... Yep, there it is. And we're actually going to learn a new skill. And we're going to get access to a new tool. Which, surprisingly, you have to do, but you don't do it as often as you think. But it is one of the more satisfying elements, for sure. Now this doesn't fit in there, does it? You son of a bitch. Screw it. We don't have to put it back. They can put it back themselves. No, we'll put it back. Why this doesn't fit? There we go. Strange how it has to be fit in a certain way. Now this potted plant doesn't really fit here for whatever reason. So... there. Just put it there. Okay. So... I would say smashing this, doing it from in here is probably not a good idea, and the reason being is because we could accidentally knock down a wall we didn't mean to knock down. So let's get to it. It's killing time. So we need to demolish walls, which to me is kind of therapeutic. I may have destroyed a part of the wall I don't mean to, but it's not a big deal. No, actually, I think it is part of the whole thing that needs to be done. So, boom. So pretty much the tools that they're teaching us to use is how to demolish walls and expand rooms and make new rooms. Now we can come in here because we're away from that one wall. So that's really the gist of what the game's trying to help us with. Is how can we get you to make new rooms? And when we start building homes or flipping houses, we have to appeal certain groups of buyers. And I'm not going to go too in-depth into it right now, as that'll be something I describe later. But a lot of it has to do with, per se, you got to appease them by doing X thing, or by doing X item. And they want, oh, I want 3 bedrooms. Well, there's only 2. Oh, but there's enough room to make a 3rd one, or convert 2 smaller rooms that just somehow happen to be there into 1 larger room. Is always an option. So we get a skill point. We'll take a look at that after we demolish the wall. Timber! Alright. So we just need to get these little specks off here. There we go. So the wall has been, for better or worse, removed. Modify the room's layout, build walls, place objects, remove the bed, or remove the crib. We need to place the bed grill. We'll do that in a minute. The bed's probably going to go here, or we're going to move this over. Mr. Rabbitsees, no! Oh no, what have I done? I just want everything away from the new wall. Okay, new wall to be built. Let's go to build walls. And here we go. Very much like painting, this can be a slightly slow process, but nothing too difficult. Actually, strangely enough, it's in the wrong spot. It's weird how they mark everything, which I don't agree with how they did it. Close that door. You'll see what I mean in a moment here. So, yeah, it wasn't meant to line up there. It was meant to go one further south. I'm wondering if that's an oversight by the developer. They meant to put it there, but it's not really where the game wants us to put it. They want us to put it here. Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, building wall. And we technically finished the job, but obviously it's very clear that there's not a completed wall here. But look at the money we're getting. Up in the 3,000 range just for doing this. And we're still not even at least at 75% done here, but so that only costs a handful of dollars to install. Alright. Let's add a bed. And the job is done. Let's finish up. Again, not too difficult. Walls to knock down, Anthony Gray. Mr. or Mrs. Recently, large rooms have become popular, which is proven by the fact that my neighbor and the neighbor of my neighbor knocked down several walls in their home. I would also like to have several walls demolished in my house. The walls between the living room and the kitchen and corridor seem unnecessary. What is more, the neighbor from across the street painted the walls in her bedroom with a bright blue sky color. I would also like to have the same. I believe that such a professional company will deal with my request at a very low cost without any problems. Best regards, Anthony Gray. Anthony! So, we've got our work cut out for us here, but nothing too major. So, blah, 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 blarg, blarg, blah, blarg. Let's get to it, as this is not going to modify... modify the room layout. Well, okay, we gotta sell this door, and we gotta sell this door. We can't remove that right now, but we will at some point. It seems like we need to start our demolition right about here. Get some! Now, we did level up a perk, but you notice I haven't done much with it yet, because I'm just one of those people that waits a little longer. Alright, let's see if we can knock the rest of that off. Keep on breaking this down here. Piece of wall hanging there. There we go. Now we gotta break it going down this way. Put in some big old gashes in here. Let it all fall where it lies. Or lay as it fall, or whatever you want to call it. Hulk smash! Alright. That'll all disappear. I think this is a glitch, because it should have fallen like that. But it appears it had not. Or did not. I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, so this room is done, even though it's got a floaty light switch. Now, checking other rooms here. Nothing needed here. Nothing needed here, but this must be the room. It needs the sleepy blue. So let's buy 1, 2 for that. Those walls alone. So probably 3. Let's get to it. And we'll do the windowed areas that are the most concerning. Specifically, these parts here. And everything else with regards to those walls. Just because they're annoying as hell. Since the bed's semi-blocking here, we'll go ahead and get that going. Okay. Okay. Let's do that corner. And we'll work this way. Out of paint there, which I figured would happen. And then I think we might have one bucket too many, but again, I'm not going to worry about it. What's bought is bought. We are almost done with this job. Come on. I also get the feeling every little small part of paint where we're not painting the full height of a wall. Still almost takes the same amount of paint as a full height of the wall. It feels like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but it feels like it. It's taking the same amount of paint. Which could be a small oversight, but it's nothing that's game-breaking by any means. Alright. This job is done, y'all. So, let's turn it in, because we worked so hard. Worked so hard. Beautifully new painted room. Wall completely ripped out. So much breathing room. That room did nothing. And we did nothing in there. I did leave a giant dump, though. A Tartarino, as I like to call it. I say if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, fresh it down. But sometimes you need a little bit more brown than a couple of nuggets. You need a nice Lincoln log before you... I'm just kidding. So anyway... yeah, look at that. We've come really, really far. We've got more gardening coming up. And our perks for that are still getting pretty good. So, like, for here... faster demolition, muscle strength. So I would just put it all in faster demolition. When it comes to this, the built wall is already painted. 50% faster building can build 3 walls at once. Boom. Now we get into requirements and negotiation. We've got a lot of jobs to do, so I would just say let's go right here for quick job to reduce the job's requirements. Even though we're gonna max that out anyway, I don't find it to be that imperative. That we do it in such a by those particular means. You notice I got rid of the bushes in the yard. Just get rid of all of them because they're just in my way. And strangely enough, we can actually mow this lawn. And this will count as experience towards our next gardening level, so that's why I'm willing to make this effort. So you see we're getting rid of weeds at the same time. I don't know, I think you lose weed XP by doing it this way, but I really don't care. But the gardening experience is quite nice to have. Especially because we're going into 2 new gardening events or jobs soon. So any hint of requirement reduction we can get or take, I would be happy to take. And since we've gotten rid of the molehills, we know we can do this. So. And just the idea that we're cleaning this house, our work home up, is probably preferred. And you'll see why it's relevant that we clean this up much later in the game. But many of you can probably figure out why. In general, we should be cleaning it up, but yeah. Not gonna worry about that. Almost done mowing the lawn. To some degree. I think the only thing you can't do is like add on to the base foundation of a house. You are semi-limited to what you can and cannot do. As we're just slowly finishing this up. This patch that's kind of like right beside the house. There we go. We'll just clean up the little bit that's left. Just using a little bit extra time in this episode because we don't really have enough time to, in my opinion, finish any major jobs. So, like the next major job, at least without rushing it and making the episode possibly accidentally go on longer than it needed to go. So, I figured the least we could do is mow this lawn and maybe clean up the outside of the house. Not necessarily redo the full outside, but clean the dirt off of it. Would be something I think in our best interest to just knock out. Look at that. House is starting to look, I don't know, like a house. And as you can see, we can clean off, in a sense, power clean. You used to have to do this with the broom, but now we can hose this guy down and get it done twice as quickly than normal. And we'll, again, distribute those points before we end the episode because you guys are so wonderfully patient. Oh, it's on the roof. Because before the gardening expansion, you used to have to clean all of this with a mop. And some areas were really hard to reach. Or at least time-consuming to reach. And look at that, all done there. Now all we can do, or not all that we need to do, sell it all. Look at this shitty bathroom. Clean the stains. I think there's some cobwebs in the corner over here. Look at that. Alright, so I think we've cleaned most of the house here. Which I'm glad to say that knocks all that out. So that way, at least this is somewhat more presentable. But as you can see, I removed a lot of the appliances. I'm not too worried about it. So, but anyway, this is a great place for us to stop right now. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I am your host, the RPG Guy. And when we come back, we need to do 2 more garden jobs and hopefully be able to do some more house jobs. Because I tend to like the home jobs a bit more than the garden jobs. And for some reason, the garden jobs keep popping up like really early when I really kind of don't want them to pop up that early, but that's just me. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/JackTartStudios for more live gaming action. If you want to support the channel, you can do a lot of the supporting over at that channel. There's also some links in the description if you want to support what we do here at JackTart Studios. So anyway, thank you guys for stopping by, and we will see you guys next time.